Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at William Tell, Switzerland's folk hero. Moving right along, mythology tells us one thing, while history tells us another. Who was William Tell? Did such a man and his exploits truly exist? What was the Hollywood swashbuckler Errol Flynn's connection to the legendary hero? According to tradition, this Swiss folk hero was an expert mountain climber and a marksman with a crossbow. He is credited for the assassination of Albrecht Gessler, a tyrannical reeve of the House of Habsburg. Gessler had been positioned in Altdorf in the canton of Uri. Tell's defiance and tyrannicide encouraged the population to open rebellion. This led to a pact against the foreign rulers, which then led to a confederacy with the neighboring Schwyz and Unterwalden, who also sought to throw off the shackles of foreign domination. Due to the making of the foundation of Swiss Confederacy, William Tell was considered its father. Set in the early 14th century during the rule of Albert of Habsburg, the first written accounts of the legend began to be popularized. This was the time when the Swiss Confederacy began to gain both military and political influence. At this time, William Tell is seen as the central figure in Swiss national historiography. He was also important as a symbol during the formative stage of modern Switzerland in the 19th century, known as the period of restoration and regeneration. William Tell has become a symbol of resistance against aristocratic rule, especially in the revolutions of 1848, against the House of Habsburg, which had ruled Austria for centuries. In legend, the first reference to William Tell appears in the White Book of Sarnen. The author, Hans Schreiber, names Tell as one of the conspirators whose heroic tyrannicide triggered the Bergen-Belsen Rebellion. An equally early account of William Tell is found in the Tellilied, a song composed in the 1470s. The song begins with Tell legend, which it presents as the origin of the Confederacy, calling William Tell as the first Confederate. The narrative includes Tell's apple shot, in which he shot an apple from atop his son's head. He then prepared a second arrow to shoot Gessler and make his escape, yet the narrative does not mention any assassination of Gessler. The text then enumerates the cantons of the Confederacy and says was expanded during the course of the Burgundy Wars. In 1570, Aegidius Chundi presented an extended version of the legend. His work is still essentially based on the account in the White Book, yet in much more detail. However, some scholars believe that much of these details are Chundi's creation simply because they could not be verified. Yet it is Chundi's version that became influential in early modern Switzerland and entered public consciousness as the William Tell legend. There are a number of sources for the Tell legend later than the White Book of Sarnen, but earlier than Chundi's 1570 version. However, an opposing school of thought is that the legend of William Tell is just that, a pure fiction. In fact, some scholars believe that the tale is based on the Danish saga of Palnatoke, while other scholars have pointed out that in Norse mythology, a common and popular theme is of a magical marksman coming to the aid of a suppressed people under the sway of a tyrant. Nevertheless, a widespread veneration of William Tell, including sightseeing excursion to the scenes of his deeds, can be ascertained by the early 16th century. The first recorded Tell play, known as Unter Tellespiel, was most likely performed in 1512 or 1513 in Altdorf. In 1581, the Church of Berglin had a bell dedicated to William Tell. There was also a nearby chapel with a fresco depicting Tell's death. Throughout the 19th century and into World War II, William Tell was perceived as a symbol of rebellion against tyranny in both Switzerland and Europe. Since then, many plays, operas, and films depicting William Tell as Switzerland's hero have been made. Prior to his death, screen legend Errol Flynn had been developing a film on the life of William Tell. It is a pity that it was never completed. What do you think? Was William Tell a real person and a true hero of Swiss resistance to tyranny? Or was he just a mythical legend meant to arouse and inspire the people? This brings us to the end of William Tell, Switzerland's folk hero. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. Please like and subscribe to Traveler's Tales, and don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.